The eighth time we made love was on the balcony of a cruise ship overlooking the Atlantic Ocean. The loom of night caressing your brown skin like we were in a threesome. The ocean offered a standing ovation while the stars blinked in disbelief as we created waves that made the moon jealous. The 96th time we made love was after we got evicted from our first apartment. It was in your cousin's bathroom. I assume you felt the same way I did in that so long as we had each other, we would always have a place to call home. After the 33rd time we made love, I watched you sleep and I pretended. Pretended your body was a flute and my name was its favorite note. Pretended that you wasn't a dream and I wasn't afraid to wake up. Pretended that pretending would make it all real. Pretended I was worth your I do. That I knew how to love you the way God intended. That there would be no more broken pieces of my heart for you to collect on your own because I would be more man than boy when you awoke. The 79th time we made love was after our daughter was born. We barely made it to 6 weeks of your recovery period before going at each other like rabid dogs for approximately 45 minutes. It was then that I discovered there are times that I have no idea who you are, but I wanted to spend the rest of my life finding out things about you that no one else will ever know. The 201st time we made love was after our first son was born. We did not make it to 6 weeks of your recovery. I have never pretended we did. The 10th time we made love was magical. I don't know if the jacuzzi was actually a cauldron and the rays of a setting sun were the final ingredients necessary to turn your body into a bowl of gold. All I know is I've been a rich man ever since. The 226th time we made love was after the worst argument we've had to date. It is the reason I now know what making love actually is. It is also the reason I've stopped counting. And it's not because it was awkward or because it felt like something we only did because it's what married people do, but because neither one of us were there, even though we were both still there. And the next morning, I wanted to tell you that running felt more natural than staying, but my soul felt shackled, ankles to wrists, this fortress of flesh, a prison, you, a warden, that I wanted desperately to escape because I had no idea how to love you the way God intended when he created you. And I was never given an instruction manual, so I'm sorry for not understanding sooner that making love is not just a physical act of intimacy, but the ability to allow you to see into me so that even if we never touch, our smiles provoke orgasms. It's foreplay, lasting the course of a day, making it more verbal than oral so we watch what we say because the same sun that melts the wax hardens the clay. It's holding on to one another despite disappointing odds. That pile of bills on the dining room table slowly transforming itself into eviction notices and cutoff deadlines, crying kids, beating on bathroom doors for nothing more than your attention, disgruntled relatives trying to tear us apart because I am not the ideal man they had in mind for you. It's you. Dealing with my trifling ways on days I am so ignorant. There is no resemblance of an intelligent human being anywhere in this body. It's two lovers coming together over the course of a lifetime so that even when one of us is no longer here, we are both still here. The first time we made love, we stood before God in a crowd of witnesses and vowed that nothing but death could separate us. We had 3 beautiful children. We argued and fought like lions over a murdered gazelle, cried like our eyes were clouds, laughed like life was a dentist chair, and shared the most intimate details of our existence with one another. And I cannot ask for anything more in this life, except for when I leave this earth, that I get to make love to you for the second time.
See, you can't stand still in a city that never sleeps. It's always on the creep, and you can wear your mask, but Ebola still seeps. The weepers still weep. The reaper still reaps. If y'all stop listening yet, because I ain't even went that deep.